little bit of a dog mafia situation going on here. I stopped at the end of the street. This is normally where I walk JD, but there's like 5 dogs hanging out here that I think would kick his ass. We've been gone for like a month and a half, so some of these dogs are new. We just got back last night from 6 weeks in Bangkok, so I was doing an intensive training with Karuhat, who's my favorite fighter ever, and just a man who I adore and idolize and want to be. And so I was learning from him every day, and I was also learning from Chai Sasakun, who's WBC champion, so I was working boxing with him. But very different training from what I'm used to. I'm usually in gym settings, you know, group training, working on the bag, pad work, clinching, sparring, all that stuff. This was loads of shadow boxing and boxing pad work with Chai, and then only sparring with Karuhat. Karuhat only spars. Hi. What's up, bro? That's kind of pretty. So coming back and doing pad work, like Muay Thai pad work with Pinu, is very different from what I was doing. It's not different from the pad work I was doing with Pinu for the past 4 years. But Karuhat changed my stance from orthodox to southpaw in February of last year. So it's been like a year and a couple of months. But it wasn't until maybe two or 3 months ago that it like clicked for me. I'd been trying to do like at least a round in each fight southpaw, and then my training was a lot of southpaw, but I could not fight an entire fight or even the 4th round, which is like the most scoring round, southpaw. And then it just clicked, and I won 2 fights completely southpaw. And so going away for 6 weeks and only working southpaw, like only being southpaw for a month and a half, because Pinu fights me on it, it's been a like focused, intensive 6 weeks on being southpaw. So I came back, and it's back to the fight with Pinu and like insisting on it. And it's interesting because there are definitely things that are different about me from this intensive training, some of which I can tell Pinu likes and some of which I can tell he doesn't like. And it's just going to be this process of like coming back to my regular training and insisting on the things that I want to keep and growing in the areas that I want to keep adjusting, including things that Pinu is making adjustments with me on. But I knew it was going to be a hard transition back. I knew that he was going to not make it easy for me on my first day. He scheduled a fight for me on the 30th. Today is the 16th. So he's like back to hard training immediately. And he definitely was like dragging me over the coals in terms of like not giving me a like let's ease back in, wade back into training kind of day. And I feel like mentally I actually handled it much better than I would have a month ago, because I was prepared for it, and also because like I expect it to be difficult. Like I anticipate this is going to be difficult, and the best way for me to actually show my respect and love to Pinu, which I have loads of, is to just like nod and listen to him and like, now I'm trying to do what you're telling me to do. Like, you don't argue with your trainers. You just try to do what they're showing you to do, and if it works for you, it does, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't, and you just kind of like shape it based on the things that work with you and don't. But I definitely had more of a struggle this afternoon than I did this morning. My energy was actually better this afternoon than it was this morning. Like I was able to kind of like push and be aggressive this afternoon more than I was in the morning. Part of that is that more people are watching in the afternoons, and so it's kind of like a performance thing, but I also just feel better in the afternoon. I'm not a morning person. But it was interesting that in this process of like trying to really work on my mindset and how I feel when I'm training and my aggressiveness and like working on my physically, I'm good. Like physically I've learned techniques. I have more techniques than I'll ever use, and then there are techniques that I have that I don't use, and it's just mental. So I really just want to work on my mental process, like 98% of what I do needs to be mental now. And I was doing really strong and good on the things that I was anticipating, and then the thing I didn't anticipate was Cruden, who's not my trainer. He doesn't understand how shirts work, and I'm wearing a very loose shirt, and he said that I looked fat, and it fucking ruined me. Like, it made me so upset. And I'm clearly not fat. He made me get on the scale, and I actually weigh less now than I did when I left. And he was like, huh, that's weird, you look fat. And I'm like, thanks. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But it totally threw me, and it's a totally throwaway kind of thing. Like, he could have said, like, you look tired or something, and then that just fucks up your day. It's totally actually what Arnold Schwarzenegger did to Lou Ferrigno at those bodybuilding competitions. Like, oh, did you not sleep well? You look tired, just to like get in his head. Except Cruden wasn't doing it on purpose, he's just doing it because he's a jerk. So yeah, it was, it feels good. It feels really good to be back at the gym because I love this gym. I love Petchrungruang. It's home. I'm literally home. Like, we slept in our own bed last night, which was really nice. Jaidee's happy to be home. And I'm motivated and excited about taking all of these things I've been working on in the past 6 weeks and being responsible for them myself. Like, I have to keep working on them, literally only me, because the trainers who taught them to me are not here, so they can't like guide me on it and correct me on it. Every pad man holds pads differently. Pinu has a very difficult way of doing pads. He exhausts you only. Not only, he's amazing, but like, he will always take you, he'll see exactly where your edge is and then just like toe the line with it and push you slightly over it. So it actually doesn't matter how good you feel, he will find where you don't feel good and put you there. So there's that. Yeah, so that's my first day back. Tomorrow we get to go for the run, which is like one of my favorite things in the world, is going and running at Silver Lake. It's beautiful, gets me out of Pattaya, and I get to see like sunrise, mountains, beautiful fields, mists, all that kind of thing. Yeah, and it's Angie's birthday. Happy birthday, Angie. We love Angie. And I'll talk to you guys later. I got to do the last 2 voiceovers on the last 2 sessions with Karuhat, and those will be up in the process of putting things on the Sylvie Study website. So if you guys are unaware of what that is, that's what I've been doing the past 6 weeks. Check it out, sylviestudy.com. And it's intensive training. It's good. Fighting in Chiang Mai and then fighting in Pattaya on the 30th. So talk to you guys later. My dogs are gone.